This is my proposal of argument regarding the summative task numero tres, and will be speaking on the behalf to the axiom of why we should keep William Shakespeare, the Bard of Avon, as well as one of the greatest playwrights and possibly the heart and soul of other inspired writers. For the consequence of I, Cartier Wilson, being a slow speaker, you might want to speed up the audio at the bottom right corner, but of course it's up to you. Why now? For the leading question, why should we keep Shakespeare in our education system? Critics argue Shakespeare is way too outdated, and a lot of his work is Old English, and we should move on from the writer, and rather teach more modern concepts in school. I feel this is true to a certain extent. For a few exemplars, Shakespeare could be deemed as boring and therefore lead students to be uninterested in topics. Again, it's outdated Old English, which could lead to a sense of purposelessness or justly uninteresting. The disagreeable side put emphasis on studying more modern work versus Shakespearean sonnets, plays, and songs. Okay, yes, too much Shakespeare even for me is boring, but in my opinion as well as many others, agree to the fact that his work is and should stay vital in teachings. Sometimes though, a good Shakespeare really just revs my engine, you know what I'm saying? But why should we switch to modern literature and distance ourselves from Shakespeare? I mean, similarly stated in our studies, How to Read Literature Like a Professor, one of Foster's chapters, when in doubt, it's from Shakespeare, ties in with the Oedipus complex, regarding the fact which a lot of modern literature today is indeed sourced from Shakespeare himself. They say it takes a genius to innovate an original idea. Shakespeare is considered one of the best philosophical thinkers that include the discourses of love, death, revenge, grief, and so on. Let's elaborate an instance from Hamlet, where he had mistaken the king as Polonius, resulting in a tragic death in front of his mother Gertrude. Act 3, Scene 4, lines 25 to 40.
Oh, I am slain! Oh me, what hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
Oh, what a rash and bloody deed is this!
A bloody deed? Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
As kill a king?
Ay, lady, 'twas my word. Lifts up Eras and sees Polonus. Thou wretched ras intruding fool, farewell. I look thee for thy better. Take thy fortune, thou findest to be busy in some danger. To Gertrude, leave wringing of your hands, peace. Sit you down and let me wring your heart, for so I shall, if it be of penetrable stuff. If damned custom not brast it so, that is proof and bulwark against sense.
What have I done, that thou darest wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
See, this singular scene can be interpreted in multiple ways. First of all, almost in all of Shakespeare's playwrights, he makes characters easily relatable, which is why his stuff impacts so many people and is still relevant today. In Hamlet's snippet, it was circulating the topics of family, relationships, murder, and betrayal. We can learn from this by considering others before we take action. Also, to be wary of consequence as well, as we know the ending in Hamlet and consequence. Hamlet is the source to many other writers and movies where it is portrayed, such as in the case with Lion King. I didn't even know it was an instance of intersexuality until reading the play. And Hamlet is just one example. To elaborate more in depth, I've scrolled randomly on the Shakespeare website for when my cursor landed on Sonnet 11. As fast as thou shalt wane, so fast thou growest, in one of thine, from which thou departest, And that flesh blood which youngly thou bestowest, thou mayest call thine when thou from youth convertest. Heroin lives wisdom, beauty, and increase. Without this folly, age, and old decay, if all were minded so, the time should cease, and 60 year would make the world away. Let those whom nature hath not made for store, harsh, featureless, and rude, barrenly perish. Look whom she best endowed, she gave the more, which boundance gift thou shouldst in my bounty cherish. She carved thee for her seal, and meant thereby thou shouldst print more, and not let that copy die. This sonnet is a good representation of the scale and quality and quantity of his work he's accumulated. This is reasoned by the titular language in each of his writings. Also to the fact in Sonnet 11, specifically Shakespeare put emphasis on with youth lives wisdom, beauty, and increase, versus featurelessness and callous comes folly and cold decay. The fact that I'd chosen a random piece of work out of hundreds in this extraordinary philosophical ideology is conversed or interpreted. Imagine all the other footprint influences that are found in Shakespeare files. For the reasons of ingenious, masterful, and respectful work which many discourses can be taught through. No other ordinary writer can compare to this extraordinary skill with literature and worldview. That is why we should keep William Shakespeare to teach students. Okay. Thanks for watching and happy studies, my tribal student fellows.